Hey guys, Mike here. Welcome to Man Talk Monday. We're coming to the end of another year. 2024 is coming to a close, and something happened this week that prompted me to want to make this particular video for you. And it's kind of appropriate given the time of year as well. One of my high school buddies, his dad, uh, passed away this week. And this man was an important man in my life. Back when I was in high school, my buddy Dave and I grew up together, and his father played an important role in my life and in the lives of many other young men. He he was not a he was an unassuming man. He really didn't have a lot to say. He didn't really do a lot of extraordinary things, you might say, I guess, in the world. But for us, for me and the guys that I grew up with, he was a huge presence. He made a massive difference in our lives. He was there for everything that we all did together. He was there to support us through everything we did. He was constantly a positive influence for us, not just for Dave, but for everybody that was around him. We were all like his adopted sons. He always had a smile and a laugh. He was always encouraging. He was always willing to support us, to do whatever it is that we needed, whether it was jumping into a river in some stream in the backwoods of Texas, or go on a trip to the beach, or serve somebody in need. He was there for all of it. He just was so willing, and always willing with a smile and an encouraging word. I think one of the main things about the dude was that he was just always there. He was just always present. And so even though I am literally halfway across the country at the moment from where he passed away, I'm going to drive halfway across the country to go attend his funeral in just a few days. But it got me thinking about some questions that I think are important for me and to think about as I come to the end of the year. And I want to offer them to you too, as a way to evaluate kind of the year that's passed and also think about the year to come. And so I encourage you to take these questions to heart and to really consider how you would answer these questions for yourself, and how they will impact the way your 2025 is going to go. I'm going to do the same. So the first question is, as you look back on 2024, what were you committed to? And I don't mean in some philosophical or aspirational way, like what do you believe in? But I mean like if you were to look at the way you actually lived your life, if someone who didn't know you were to watch the way you actually lived your life, what would they say you were committed to by the way you lived, by the actions that you took, by the choices that you made and the behaviors you exhibited? What were you committed to? I think it's a good idea to take a really hard look at not what you think you're committed to or not what you want to be committed to, but what you are actually committed to. What did you actually stand for? What were you actually willing to sacrifice for? What were you actually willing to take a stand for? And I don't mean things that you just die for. I think it's surprisingly easy to pick things that you would die for. I'm talking about the things that you would live for, that you did live for, or things that you would or did lay your life down for, things that you're willing to sacrifice for. To really take a look at that and make a list. Here's what I was committed to, really committed to in 2024. And then flip the script and look at the year ahead and ask yourself in a very deep, honest way, what will I be committed to in 2025? It might be the very same list, but if you're anything like me, I think you'll find there'll be some changes you'll want to make. Some of the things that we as men say we're committed to on paper, but not always in the way we actually live. So what will you be committed to in 2025? Really, no kidding, through your life, through the way you live. And how will you know that you're committed to those things? What are the behaviors and the actions that will signal to the world, that will signal to somebody who doesn't know you at all, that you are committed to those things? So that's the first question. The second question is, as you look back over 2024, what was your impact? And I mean this in a kind of multi-layered way. I think most of us guys think about, well, I provided for my family, I made a space for them, I provided a home. At least for many of us, that's the case. But I want you to go deeper than that too and think about what was the impact for the people around you to be around you, like to be in relationship with you, to have you in the atmosphere of their life, to be in your orbit. When you came into a room, what happened to the room? When you were in the space of relationship with your family, what was the overall impact of that on your family? Was there more joy or less? Was there more happiness or less? Was there a rise in love or a decrease in love? Really think through what was the impact you had on the environment around you, on the people around you, on the life around you in 2024. And if you don't know, have some courage and ask. Go to the people in your life and say, what was it like to be in relationship with me over the last year? What was the impact that I had on you? But really think through, what was your impact? What did your life produce? What was the overall net effect of you being in the world in 2024? And then flip the script again and think about 2025. What do you want to be the impact of your life in 2025? This is where you move as a man from being reactive to being proactive. I think way too often we guys are just focused on putting out the latest fire. We don't think through, what do you want the effect of your life to be? You know, how do you want your life to change the environment around you? When you walk into a room, what do you want to happen to the room? If it's a room full of people, what do you want the effect to be of you walking into that space? And you can bring intentionality to that in 2025. What do you want the impact of your life to be? Do you want there to be more love? Do you want there to be more care? Do you want there to be more safety? Do you want there to be less suffering? Do you want there to be more people cared for, more needs met? What is it you want? Get clear about that, and then set your intention around creating that impact. Become a student of how to create that impact in the spaces you inhabit. Just setting that intention will help you to actually become a man of integrity around the intention of the impact you create in 2025. And then the last question is this: what is your deep work? What was your deep work in 2024? And what I mean by that is, as you look back over the year, what was the one thing that you could have or did work on, whether you did or not, that you could have worked on or did work on, that was like the linchpin item? If you had done this, if you had worked on this, it would have shifted so many things in your life, right? If I had done this one thing, it would have changed 1,000 things, would have changed 100,000 things in my life. Or maybe you did do it. Like maybe you did change that one thing and it had this great effect. So it was the deep work. It might be something as simple as, I got in shape. Like I fixed my diet. I fixed the way I engage my body. It could have been, I finally got a handle on that addiction. or I got a handle on the anger that has been driving me for so long, or I finally reconnected with God in a deep and meaningful way. And I finally, established the depth of that relationship that I've been wanting for so long. I did that. Made that the central focus in 2024. That linchpin item, that deep work item, had a massive effect on everything in that year. So whether or not you did it is not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, what was that thing? Whether you did it or not in 2024, that if you had done that, and if it would have changed everything. Get clear about what that thing was. Because for every man, there is one thing. There is a thing that if you do that one thing, it would make that year a massive success. And then flip the script again and look at 2025. What is your deep work for the next year, for 2025, for the year ahead? And you can ask it this way. If there was only one thing you worked on in 2025 in your life, only one thing you really worked on in 2025, that if you did work on it and you got a handle on it, or you overcame it, or whatever the word is you want to use, it would make a massive difference in your entire life. It would have such a huge return on investment in multiple areas of your life. It would make the year a massive win, even if it was the only thing you did in the entire year. What is that deep work for you? That's what I want you to answer. So if you can get clear on that and then set your intention for 2025 to say, this is the year that I'm going to work on that deep thing. I'm going to be intentional about working on that one thing. So what is your deep work? What is your impact? And what are you committed to? You'll notice none of these questions have anything to do with external goals. They don't have to do with moving the chart up and to the right. They don't have to do with you winning any external accolades. They all have to do with you becoming the man you're meant to be. Because I guarantee you, if you focus on that, all that other stuff will take care of itself. But what the world needs now, and what your family needs now, and honestly what you need, and what I need, is to become the man I'm capable of becoming. And every year, really every day, but certainly at the turn of the year, we have a fresh opportunity to start fresh, to start over, and to begin again. So I hope you'll take the opportunity this year to take some time here at the end of the year to really ask these questions, to go deep, to evaluate the year that's passed, to look toward the year ahead, and really get serious, really get real with yourself about where you're at, where you've been, and where you can go in the next 12 months. I know that for the man that I'm thinking of, that I'm going to go honor in a few days, he was committed to things that really mattered. The impact on his life now, 40 years later, still resonates, still reverberates in my soul. And he did the deep work he needed to do as a man in order to be able to be an instrument of grace in my life and of power and of impact. And I'm just one of literally scores of other men that he had an impact on. And that's just one life. That's just one man who was not known by hundreds or thousands of people, but he had an impact on hundreds of lives because he just showed up and did his work. You can too, and so can I. So let's do it. Let's do the work we're meant to do. Let's become the men we're meant to be in 2025. That's my word to you. Have a beautiful new year. I look forward to seeing you in the year ahead.